from the Newark College of Engineering Co-op office. I'm thrilled today to be joined by some of my colleagues in Career Development Services, Annie Montero and Jose Lopez. Of course, for the students, you probably know me. I'm Mike Smolin, Director of the Co-op Program for NCE's undergraduate students. And why don't I ask my colleagues to introduce themselves? And Annie, I'm going to go ahead and start with you. Do you mind sharing with us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure. So my name is Annie Montero. I'm one of the career advisors and assistant directors in the Career Development Services office. I work on the student team, specifically uh, with the NCE students. And really, my role is to help support students in everything related to their career goals,
Mhm.
right? Resume writing, interview, cover letters, but also general career advising, general career guidance, and then the co-ops and internship searches that students are doing to gain that experience before they leave NJIT.
Great. And Jose, what about you?
So my name is Jose Lopez. I'm also one of the career advisors and assistant directors on the student team in Career Development Services. And pretty much like Annie, I assist all students with an NCE to, just prepare you for your career path and making sure you get those job opportunities for when you graduate by building up those networking opportunities, as well as getting those opportunities in internships and co-ops.
So, one of the reasons why I'm so happy to have you here today is so many of our students are still trying to figure out what a co op is, why it matters, all sorts of things about it. And I think the awareness of it is starting to raise, but it's so important that the students are connecting with you about this. Um, very much because you see students all the time, right, that are asking you all sorts of questions about this. I wanted to hear from you. What are some of the most commonly asked questions you've got? So, Jose, I'm going to go ahead and start with you. What do you normally hear from students who are interested in co ops? What are they asking you?
Yeah, so one of the main questions that come up a lot is what is the process of starting a co-op, or where do I start to get into that pot, like that, just that timeline of getting everything involved in everything in the program. And the way I would answer that is just making sure that you are connecting with your career advisor, so Annie or myself, and pretty much just letting us know your game plan of when you would like to do the co-op, whether it's going to be in the fall or spring, as well as just looking at those different opportunities and making sure that your resumes are getting catered for those opportunities for those co-op like opportunities. So that's pretty much the main question I would get asked.
Um, I think two of the biggest questions I get from students is why should I do a co-op?
Mhm.
What value does it bring to me? The value it brings is that you are getting and gaining experience that is different than what you've gotten in the classroom, right? So you've been in your classes, you've been learning the academic side of your major and your field of study, and then when you go to do a co-op, you're going to be applying what you've been learning to real world, real life experiences, right? You're going to be working for a company, working with other people, seeing how what you've been learning in the classroom translates to what it does out in the world. And so you gain that experience of putting your learning into action. You're going to gain professional development. You're going to be working on skills that will be valuable no matter kind of where you end up once you leave NGIT. The second is, when do I apply? So student, it's December right now. A student comes in and says they want to do a spring co-op. It's a little late. A lot of companies are looking a couple of months out to hire, right? So at this moment, a lot of spring 2023 co-ops have been filled up, and now companies are looking to hire for the fall. So you should really be, when you meet with your advisor and want to lay out your timeline, like Jose just mentioned, really keeping in mind that you want to be doing things about 4 to 6 months before you actually want to be starting your co-op. So it's important to keep in mind that recruiting and hiring practices take place a couple months before you would actually want to start.
So it seems to me that so much of this is that preparation, right? So Jose, you
Mhm.
mentioned getting the resume in. I know when I go to run some of the resumes from students who want to go meet with companies, a lot of them have information in Handshake, for instance, but some don't. And Annie, you're mentioning, looking at that calendar and really making sure that they've got that timeline in mind. But correct me if I'm wrong. You're both, for example, the resources to our students. So much of it is just having someone to talk to. So if a student wanted to just come and ask these questions, what would you recommend that they do? How would they connect to get those answers?
Sure. So the easiest way to meet with us is to make an appointment on Handshake. That's how we manage our calendars. We're both really accessible via email, I think, as well. And so, I have students that want to just kind of reach out with some initial questions, make sure they're in the right place, make sure I'm the right person to talk to. And so we'd encourage students to either email us or set up those appointments so that we could have conversations. We also, we understand that students have been readjusting their life since the pandemic, so we're available to meet either virtually or in person, whatever the student prefers.
Mhm.
Great. All right, so Annie, again, you were referencing how close we are to the spring cycle. And by the way, I cannot believe that. I can't
Mhm.
Mhm.
believe 2022 is almost complete. It still feels new to me. But I know 2023 is right around the corner. So, with that
Mhm.
in mind, what are some of the deadlines that you think the students need to know right now? And I'll
Um,
put this out to either one.
Yeah, so the most important deadline, if you're looking to get registered for a co-op course, is going to
Mhm.
be January 23rd. That is the last day that you can submit your offer letter as an experience on Handshake. That's how we
Mhm.
process students that are looking to do co-ops and then get the do the courses related to that. So
Mhm.
January 23rd is probably the most important date at this point. There's some, depending on your major, your school, different end dates. So that's something you can always talk with your career advisors more specifically about.
Mhm.
So, let's say a student has not talked to you guys at all,
Mhm.
and they went out and they interviewed with the company and they've got a co-op, but they haven't had any internal conversations about it.
Mhm.
What would be the very first thing you would tell them to do if they got an offer today?
Mhm. So for students that receive an offer today, first of all, congratulations on receiving that offer. But secondly, you want to make sure that you are having those conversations with your career advisor. So make that appointment through Handshake. Let us know what opportunity you received. Because many times it does have to go through a review process. So if you get an opportunity for something within your major, perfect. We can help you out getting that survey filled out to make sure that you're eligible for the co-op program, and then we move forward with the steps there. The biggest thing is that the experience that you do receive must relate to your major. I always give this example to my students for engineering. Let's say you get an opportunity working with the Disney College Program, and you want to use it as a co-op. Disney College Program is a great experience. You get to work at Disney. However, it doesn't relate to the engineering background, and you won't be doing anything close to engineering, so you wouldn't be able to use it as a co-op. So that's what we take that into account to make sure that you are gaining experience within your field that you're studying, because that's what's going to be the enriching part of that opportunity you receive.
And so I know that there's a lot of steps that are involved in getting that co-op approved and getting it through the process.
Hmm.
One of the things that I put on the screen for our students to take a look at right now is a bit.ly link that's going to take you right to the career services page that gives you all the information about the steps to follow, how to log into Handshake, how to get the experience put forward, and everything you need to know there. But in the meantime, what I'd really like to encourage our students to do is to make sure that, most importantly, you're connecting with career services. Annie and Jose are an absolute pleasure to work with, and I think
Hmm.
the students that are watching this are going to back me up on this. Having that personal connection is so incredibly important. And Annie and Jose, I know you guys are fantastic about connecting with students, responding to students. And for all the students watching this, take advantage. We are here to support you all year round. So, lastly, we are in Fenster Hall. Come the new year, we're going to be should be on the fourth floor of Fenster Hall. Right now, we're on the second floor. But either way, reach out, connect with all of us, give us a call. And in the meantime, let me also thank Annie and Jose for taking the time to talk to me today. Thank you guys
Oh,
both.
thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
And listen, happy holidays to you and your family, and to our students. Happy holidays to you. If you haven't already, get that co-op application in. All right, everybody. Thanks so much.